You don't need a crazy long morning routine or like a night routine or like the discipline or like all the good habits. Like, oh, bro, I need to take a cold shower. I need to meditate before I go to school. I need to like journal. I need to like meditate and I need to take another cold shower. Like, bro, it's not that deep. In order to get what you want, in order to achieve what you want, whatever goal it is that you have, what will get you there? Okay, what's gonna get you there, right? One thing and one thing only will get you from point A to point B to where you are now and to where you want to be. The one thing is taking action. Simple, right? Wow, so obvious. Wow, what are you teaching? Hear me out. The things that we do throughout our day that make us feel productive or make us think that we are being productive, for example, that cold shower, is literally just a distraction to you taking action on your goals. While that may seem productive to you, like, oh, cold shower, like, it's good for your dopamine, it sets you up for the rest of the day, like, oh, it has all these benefits if I have a set routine, like, just set systems, like atomic habits, all that good stuff, blah, blah, blah. You're ultimately going to get distracted on what is ultimately, like, the real thing that is going to get you from point A to point B. You need to sit down, and ask yourself, what moves the needle, right? What moves the needle for you? What is your goal? Where are you right now? That's point A. Where do you want to get to? That's point B. And what actually moves the needle? For example, me growing a YouTube channel, what's going to move the needle? Number 1, recording. Number 2, planning the videos. What's not going to move the needle is like researching what topics to talk about or meticulously scripting every video word for word, or like thinking about it, or like replying to comments, and or like in the morning I wake up, oh, I'm going to make my bed, I'm going to meditate. Not to say those things are bad necessarily, but they don't move the needle to where I want to get to. If I want to like get a good physique, right? Number 1, go to the gym. Number 2, recovery. And then like diet. Those are the 3 things. Everything else you can ignore, because 90% or like 95% of the results that you are going to get in terms of like pursuing something big, pursuing something that takes time, energy, and focus, especially time, is literally the amount of action that you take to the things that matter. Because when, let's say there's 2 people, right? There's you and there's this other version of you that wants to build like a phenomenal physique, a physique like a Greek god, right? This one person takes a look at himself in the mirror and it says, okay, I'm going to build this physique, so I'm going to do as much as possible. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to like do my recovery. I'm going to like take care of all my macros. Like I'm going to make sure I eat a good diet. I'm going to make sure like this, and I'm going to read all these books, and then I'm going to study the autobiographies of great bodybuilders. And while that like energy is great, and that's like what the media and like everyone is like trying to tell you to do, like, oh, work harder, work as hard as you possibly can. Bro, the guy that actually locks in on what actually matters, he just goes to the gym, obsesses about it, where he's at now and where he wants to get to. He's going to destroy you. He's going to destroy you because he actually locks in on what matters, while you're using your brain energy, your life energy, the limited amount of energy that you have throughout the day on these little things that, yeah, they'll get you results, maybe like 10, 15%. But the guy that locks in, do you understand me? Like the guy that actually puts everything into what steps, what actions that actually get him the 85 and 90% of the results, is going to destroy you because it's exponential. The guy that puts 100% of his effort and ignores everything else into what actually moves the needle versus you like doing like decorating the needle or whatever, he's going to destroy you. So it's not a matter of you setting bigger goals and then doing everything you can to achieve them. It's not about you setting goals, setting ambitions, having big dreams and following your passion. It's not about that. If you want to like beat odds, because chances are odds are against you in whatever you want to do, because chances are odds are against all of us, right? Whatever we want to do. So if you want to do that, you have to understand what's going to separate you. And like the biggest thing that I found so far, I've fallen into that trap. Let's say for basketball, right? I play basketball. I want to be great at basketball. I used to train 6-8 hours a day in like sessions of like 90 minutes and like 2-hour workouts, and then I would lift weights, and then I would do all these different things. And then when I'm not working on my game, like live, I would watch basketball. I would watch film of basketball, and then I would study the greats of basketball, and then I would study the rules of basketball, and all I was thinking about basketball. And guess what? The guy that was just like me, maybe even like a shorter guy, less athletic, less skilled, didn't even care about the game as much, but he worked, let's say, 10 times less than me, or maybe even more than that. He would work 45 minutes a day, like 4 times a week, and he just gave himself mental time to rest, like get away from the game. His creativity recharged. He was ready to go. He enjoyed the game for what it was. He focused on what mattered rather than all these unnecessary things like watching film, which is like, it'll get you better, but if you really want to be great, you got to take action in real life, and what actually gets you the result is training, and training against good competition. And I wasn't focusing on that. I was busy doing all these weird drills that I found, all these like little workout things, little tiny micro things. Well, if you just focus on the macro things, you'll destroy everyone, because everyone is distracted by the micro things. Another thing is, you keep getting distracted on what you actually want. Okay, I'll phrase it better. Think micro and macro, okay? Micro is essentially like, micro is like small things, okay? Micro would be your day-to-day, hour-to-hour, blocks of and chunks of time, daily tasks, daily to-do list, daily routines, all that. Macro is the big thing. What is your big goal? What is point B? And what is gonna get you there is in the micro things, okay? But the problem is, we keep changing what our macro thing is and keep changing point B and making point B a little like point B version 2, which is like point C, and then we change our course. Like, bro, I want to like do a YouTube channel, right? Like for me, I want to do a YouTube channel. That's point B for me. Grow it to like a certain amount, grow it to like have this much audience, this much like, but then I change it to where it's like, okay, now I want to start Instagram Reels. And then, okay, now I'll just go on like shorts instead of long form content. And then, oh, I don't even want to be content creating anymore. I just want to like make a book or something. I know those are like pretty wild and like opposite examples, but I'm willing to bet, like if you actually take a look at your life, the goals that you're setting, you keep changing them because you don't trust yourself to set the goals that you can actually like lock in on. And you don't trust yourself because you don't know what you want in your future. You don't know what, like, if I were to ask you right this moment, as you're listening to the words that come out of my mouth, what is your dream life? Like, if you had all the money in the world, you could live anywhere in the world. What is your dream life? Could you even tell me? I don't think so. It would take some thought. Good. Think about it. Literally, I got a pen and a piece of paper. I sat down for like half an hour and I thought about it. And I still have no fucking clue, because it is just so like, I don't know what I want to do in my life at all. I don't know what I want at all. Like, it's crazy. It's mind-boggling. And it's a good thing, because that just shows you how limitless the possibilities are, how many different possibilities that you have at your like fingertips to consider. Because when your mind is so limited to like just like your day-to-day life and like, oh, I need to get this done, or I need to do my homework, I need to like you get so caught up in the micro things that you lose track of what's actually important in the macro. So for me, what I've found so far is like, oh, in the future, I want to have a family, right? I want like a wife, children, like all that. And then I want to be able to like give them the best life to where they're thriving. And my wife doesn't need to work. My children can get like an incredible education. Like there'll be no stress. I can retire everyone in my family. We live in a beautiful house and all that. That's all I know for sure right now. And maybe even then that's going to change. But then the fact that I have like this vague direction, this vague macro direction, is already better than having like these like surface level macro goals, like, oh, I want to be a pro basketball player, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a content creator, or I want to start a clothing brand, because you don't tackle what's actually under it. And what is under it is usually what? For me, it's freedom. For me, it's something like, oh, I want to have the freedom to do whatever I want. I want freedom to like spend my time how I want. I want freedom to like spend time with my family how I want. Like, just money gives you freedom. And that's what I was like getting so caught up on. But then there's a deeper thing, because what will that freedom give me? It'll give me time. Time for what? Time to pursue something that actually fulfills me. And then I just thought about like, why can't I find fulfillment in the macro things that I do today? And so I was about to invest 30 years of my life for something that I can have today. Isn't that crazy? And all it took for me was to sit down and just think about it. But you never do that because you're lazy. And even though I keep telling you to do that, you never do it because, I don't know. But I used to never do it either. But when I started doing it, it changed my life. And I'm just going to keep telling you until you finally crack and do it. And then you're going to tell me, Jake, thank you. It was amazing. And I'm going to be like, yeah, I told you so. And so, yeah, I have a free Telegram, actually. If you want to hear more from me, if you want to hear like daily lessons or like little things that I pick up throughout my day, you can join that. It's completely free. I think you'll actually find it pretty useful because it's like unfiltered, raw, unedited, like what comes out of my mouth and like my brain. And like I just put it out there for you to see. I don't care. Anyone can judge it. You'll find it useful. And as always, if you want to hear more from a 17-year-old trying to figure out life, subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. I want to see you win, bro. Get after it.